Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871. Alright, so my buddy Marco Polo popped down in our comment section this particular link. Is the oil burden a rising problem? By Tyler Durden. Haha. Very clever. um Okay, yeah, there's a whole bunch I could say about this. I'm just going to touch on it a little bit on the 33-minute phone here, and there are a couple other topics that I want to talk about. What does big oil and the DVD bargain bin have in common? I'll tell you. Our link here, I'll link this down below where you guys can read it in full. I'm not going to pretend that I understand every last single word that's spoken in this. I've never pretended to be some great college-educated economist. I'm a homeless man who lives in an economy that marginalizes people like myself. I report on what I know. I report on what I live. That's what I do. A lot of what is talked about in this report, it does indeed, I do indeed observe it. I observe it happening. I'm just going to read real quick here our opening paragraph. In my book, Escape from the Central Bank Trap, I explain the concept of the oil burden. It is the percentage of the global GDP spent on buying oil. It is often said that when the oil burden reaches 5 to 6% GDP, it can be a cause of a global slowdown. And we've got some graphs here that go on to speak about that. They go on to speak about some of the topics here. I'll read them off to you. Supply manipulation, Iran sanctions, Venezuela's production collapse, inventories continue to fall. I will say this real quick. I don't know if you guys paid attention, but one of the first things Trump did when he got into office was to sell off all of America's oil reserve. Well, not all of them, but he sold off a great deal of America's oil reserves. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. And he did that for the exclusive and express purpose of manipulating the price of crude. Both he himself as well as all of his rich cronies, they all have stock portfolios that are heavily invested in crude, in oil. I'm not even going to get off into how this man has violated the emoluments clause so many times and continues to get away with it. This man directly created policy that directly benefits him. Trump's golf properties membership rates doubled, if not tripled. If you want access to the president, if you want your wealthy corporations to have access to the president of the United States, then you're going to pay these golf fees, and and he'll consider, the things that are beneficial to your company's bottom line, not Republicans, not Democrats, damn sure not homeless people like me. This is a president that is in office for himself and his billionaire boys club. Nobody else. If you're not in that inner ring circle, then you're fucked. I don't care who you are, white, black, gay, straight, conservative, liberal, you are fucked. Okay, let's go on. Yeah, he sold off America's oil because he wanted to get rid of the excess so that there will be a created demand. So once the demand comes back, then the price of the oil went back up. It's why gas was like under $2 there for a minute. And when Trump got into office, he sold shit off, and hello, $3 a gallon. Let's see. I will finish up here, and not finish up, but I just want to read this part of the report here. This is did I say it was a zero hedge? The risk, therefore, is that too much greed may break the camel's back. Imposing artificially higher prices on the world through supply management always backfires. Many oil analysts wonder why oil is not at $100 a barrel with all the above-mentioned issues. The supply management's desire boom is smaller than expected due to lower energy intensity and higher global debt. And the risk of the abrupt burst is exacerbated because price increases are not based on fundamentals. Um, and it goes on from there. Like I said, I'll post this down below. Supply, demand. You know, if you've ever wondered how a DVD ends up in the bargain bin, you'll have like this. The movie The Dark Knight, massively successful. Titanic, massively successful. And then you will have gigantic flops like Green Lantern or Gem, as in Gem and the Holograms. Yes, they made a live-action movie. All of these movies, these aforementioned movies, will end up in the bargain bin. Why? But they got there through different reasons. The successful ones were so successful that everybody already has them in their movie library. Studio, actors, distribution companies, everybody has made their money triple, quadruple, made their money and still making their money on residuals, things like that, okay? There's no need to continue selling the movie because, you know, everybody has it. Everybody has it, you know. There's really no reason, no logical reason to continue asking $20 or $25 a disc for it. It ends up in the bargain bin for $5 a movie, you know. Then you'll have mega flops like your Green Lantern or Gem and the Holograms and a bunch of other, it'll probably like Wrinkle in Time, that'll end up there too. All these horrible flops. However, before they make their way to the bargain bin, you will find them on the shelves at inflated prices, $25, sometimes even $30 a disc, and it's like, the movie was so bad. Exactly, the movie was so bad that the few people who actually want the movie, if they want it that bad, then they're going to pay it. You never know. You have movies like what was it, the Disaster Artists, or the movie that it was made off of. There might be cult movies. You know, it's so bad it becomes good, stuff like that. And so therefore, if you want it, so this is the studio's opportunity to make as much money as they can off of the tiny little pool of people that are actually interested in it. And then from there, it goes into the bargain bin for $5. You know, can we get anything off of it? So these movies will make their way to the bargain bin for the same reason. How Big Oil and this have in common is that I wish to God I wanted to take the pictures of this stuff. I used to do security, electric company. They got curios, a type of little, I don't want to say museum, but curios in a lobby area where they put on display tools of electrical workers from 100 years ago, 50 years ago, and stuff like that. And they also had in the curios on display paraphernalia, pamphlets, flyers, circulars, propaganda, urging people with their oil lamp lit homes and wood-burning stoves to try electricity. Convert over to electricity. It's so simple, it's so cheap, and it'll make your life so much more easier. Oil lamps were the thing. For those of you who have seen, because people think of wood-burning stoves, they think of like seriously primitive, you know, living in huts and shit, you know, or caves or something. Have you seen the movie Color Purple? The scene where the abusive, they call him Mr. or Albert, he goes to make Sugar Avery some breakfast, and he puts wood into the stove. It's a wood burning stove. That's it. That's in a kitchen. You know, it's like a kitchen stove. It just simply runs off of wood. And those types of stoves were actually in homes for quite a while, to up until like the 30s, man. Maybe even some. You might still have some holdouts that still have those types of stoves. The point is that your coal, oil, electric, they were so desperate to hypno-mindfuck the population into latching onto the teat and to get with this thing, because they understood that if we can get, like with healthcare, if we can get enough people in the pool, then it becomes redonkulously affordable and profitable. That's what I want to say, profitable. And of course, once everybody switches over to electric, addicted, just like with the cars, the big auto, suddenly 2-mile, 3-mile trips, it becomes unfathomable. Oh my God, I have to have a car in my life. If I don't have it, then my entire life comes to a screeching halt. I could so go off into a whole thing about not only the physical fitness, the obesity epidemic. There's a lot I want to say also about hormonal imbalancement, not just mine, but see, I don't want to get to Illuminati, the explosion, emotional need animals. Why is everybody suddenly so emotionally needy? Okay, even people who they go off into these diets as a means of controlling their weight, and they're extremely heavily laden in deprivation. It's not so much portion control, but just simply don't eat, like a whole fucking long laundry list of shit not to eat. There's so much more I could say there. The American lexicon, the psychology, the body, the mind, the body, the dependency, oil, physical fitness, you're now no longer able to do for yourself. Then you can bring in big pharmacy, flu shot. Oh my God, just coping with something as simple as the ordinary flu. Now they don't want your body to have that ability any longer. They want you to believe that if you don't have their flu shot, then you're going to die. It's not true. I understand that there are people who are already sick, weakened. It might sound cruel and fucked up to say it, but it is true. Nature does have a way of picking off the weak. Hey, if I live long enough, because they say the elderly are susceptible to it. You live long enough, eventually there's going to be a bug out there that's going to take you out. And that's just simply the way of it. I've come to terms with it. I've made my peace with that. Herd immunity, man. What do you call it? Darwin. Anyway. So yeah, our society is calibrated to make you very weak, and to make you very dependent, and to make you very needy. And they will indeed manipulate the price of oil to keep you latched onto that teat. Yeah, so now I want to switch over to I want to talk about something that's going on over in Hoboken, New Jersey. Let's see here. Okay. New pilot program. Now let me check my time. 14 minutes. I'm going to read this without any commentary. You are tasked with finding out what is fucked up about this program. Okay? Now I want you to just listen. It's not a terribly long report, and I'm going to read it for you. Okay. Hoboken, New Jersey. This is CBS 3 or 2. I'll link it down below. There's a growing community of homeless people living in Hoboken, and locals are blaming the lack of affordable housing in New Jersey. Nearly 1,000 homeless people are believed to be living in Hudson County, New Jersey, according to County Executive Tom DeGeis. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. In an attempt to get to the root of the problem, lawmakers across the state have partnered with the New Jersey Medical Center and Hoboken University Medical Center to create a new supportive housing program called Familiar Faces. We need to ease the stress and burden so that clients can focus on health and wellness, Dr. Mika Robertson said during a Wednesday press conference. The pilot program will reportedly provide supportive services and 25 permanent housing vouchers worth about $10,000 annually. Recipients of the Familiar Faces vouchers will be frequent users of county corrections and rehabilitation centers, homeless shelters, hospitals, and other crisis centers. The new initiative will be beneficial to those who qualify and cooperate. However, some Hudson County residents are concerned about the homeless population that is unwilling to accept help. Not all of them want to come, which is a very frustrating thing, Tom DeGeis admitted to CBS 2's Hazel Sanchez. County Executive DeGeis says local law enforcement takes down homeless shanty towns regularly, only to have them pop up again. Hoboken Mayor Ravi Bahala, he's a Sikh. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Bhalla, Ravi Bahala, says his newly created homeless task force will continue to reach out to people in need. We want to make sure everybody is safe and secure, and if they have an opportunity to avail themselves of the services we offer, we want to lend a helping hand, Mayor Bahala explained. I want you guys pause real quick, because I'm going to pause too, take a quick breath, and I want you to just simply lament on what I just said. If you want, open up the link, read it yourself, read it, pore over it, and see if you can find out, because I'm trying to educate you guys on governmental bullshit and what's actually of substance, what can actually help, okay? I want you guys to be educated in spotting frauds, just like I'm trying to educate you guys on spotting fraudulent GoFundMes and shit like that. I'm going to see if I can get you guys to speed. Take a pause, take a breath, and we'll reconvene. Everybody have their bathroom break? Good. Alright, jump back into it, move as quick as I can. Alright, so we're up here at the top of our article here. We're at our Hoboken story. Nearly 1,000 homeless people are believed to be living in Hudson County, New Jersey, according to the County Executive Tom DeGeis. In an attempt to get to the root of the problem. Are you sure? Root? Lawmakers across the state have partnered with Jersey City Medical Center and Hoboken University Medical Center. Once again, we see the same tired tricks. The root of the problem? The root of the problem is Jewish real estate. Okay, the Jewish oligarchy is the root of the problem. Okay. I also want to do a whole episode on homeless and self-sabotaging. It would be completely unfair of me to just simply harp on endlessly about the Jewish oligarchy without talking about homeless and their self-sabotaging ways. I was chit-chatting with my homeless buddy the other day. He popped into a Dunkin' Donut. We were sitting down chit-chatting. I didn't smell any alcohol on him. But we were talking about something about because he saw me charging my batteries. He was having a lot of difficulty understanding how something that is not USB, okay, we were talking about a particular device, and what he was talking about was a regular 2-prong electrical outlet, and I was trying to explain to him that when I'm away from an outlet, I really only have access to USB stuff. He was having difficulty wrapping his head around that. The drugs have definitely taken their toll. Drugs and alcohol. Anyway, so Jewish oligarchy, who owns and operates the medical centers? They're calling this thing the familiar faces. It's not the familiar faces, it's the same old tired familiar tricks where you are using us homeless people. Like I said, it's not just simply predatory GoFundMes or predatory YouTube personalities. It is these so-called social workers. They're all set up to earn a great deal of money off of us homeless people. We need to ease the stress and burden so that clients can focus on health, and wellness. Okay, that's code language. That's code language for we want to allocate hundreds of millions of dollars so that we can build basically a community center, okay? When they say services, we want to hire doctors and social workers, Jewish, primarily. I'm sure there'll be Middle Easterns and Asians and blacks and whites, but who stands to make the most amount of money from this, okay? Services is code language for let us use homeless people. They go around, they collect our names and social security numbers, they give us these little pittance of services, and they bill the state and the federal government tens of millions of dollars for having performed nothing of real tenable value. It also goes on to say here, the pilot program will reportedly provide supportive services, there's our code word again, services, and 25 permanent housing vouchers. Vouchers, not housing units. Nowhere in this article does it say anything at all about giving homeless people what we actually need. A home. I don't need a fucking art studio to... I am de-stressing. Yes. It's homeless yoga. And now we're doing downward dog. And now we're doing rising sun. And now we're doing whatever the fuck they call it, alright? Fuck you and your goddamn downward dog, okay? I bet you do want us in a downward dog to fuck us in the goddamn ass. Okay, fuck your shit. Your goddamn existential shit. Alright? Vouchers. Okay? Now, anybody out there that's on Section 8 housing, you already know where I'm going with this, okay? $10,000 annually, they say this voucher is. I've already spoken to myself blue in the face over in the McDonald's video, okay? How can you afford... I'll tell you what. See this phone? I bought it 6-7 years ago. About 200 some bucks. Nowhere near how much rent costs. See that light? 30 bucks. Nowhere near what rent costs per year. Check out that kick-ass bicycle. 4,000 bucks. Still nowhere near what it costs to live for 1 year in your Jewish oligarchy apartment. Ooh, look. He's got, oh my goodness. Oh, is that technology? How do homeless people have technology? Oh my God. Ooh. It only costs $100. still nowhere near what it costs to live. Per month, let alone per year. Nobody's going to want your $10,000 government dollars. Why am I going to give you, a homeless person, with all your homeless drama? Why am I going to sit there and drop the price of my apartment, give it to you? You're going to bring your drugs and your drug friends when I can rent it out to a hardworking person, as if we were never hardworking. Okay? And I can get $12,000 or $13,000 a year for it. For the ghetto ones, anyway. Sometimes more than that. Okay? And of course, nobody's even addressed utilities. Of course they haven't addressed utilities. Because they know damn well you're not going anywhere with that $10,000 voucher. It's all pretty words for people like our, what was it, Hazel Sanchez? Okay, maybe she doesn't know. Maybe Miss Sanchez lives her middle class life as a reporter and is completely oblivious to what it is, to the trappings of homelessness, to the conundrum. Okay, when you're oblivious to the conundrum, then you don't know. Let me check my time here. 26. All right, we got to wrap up. New initiatives will be beneficial to those who qualify. See? Qualify. Let's talk about that. They go to talk about you got to be in the jails, you got to be in the basically criminal recidivism and people who are crazy, driven crazy. Question, how come you're only willing, even though your little bullshit program doesn't actually help and solve homelessness, but even if it did, why would you dangle help from people who need it right away? Why would you wait and withhold help, actual tenable help, from people and not willing to help unless they have gotten themselves embroiled in the merry-go-round of criminal recidivism, okay, until the desperation has caused them to commit crimes, until God knows I definitely can identify with this, until the psychological trauma of poverty and homelessness has finally driven them to the brink. Okay, because that's why I wanted to kill myself when the state police came and arrested me. Okay? Rather than cope with poverty. Rather than live homeless for the rest of my life. Isn't it better to just kill myself? And of course, what did the state police do? They came to definitely let's get this one onto the criminal merry-go-round of criminal recidivism. Definitely, yeah. I mean, especially he's black too. Oh my God, yeah. What? He hasn't been arrested before. How old is he? Wow, it's amazing that we missed him this far. Huh. We gotta tighten up. Oh yeah, you can't let these goddamn niggers go around without criminal records. We gotta make sure that every last single one gets a motherfucking criminal record. An arrest record. God forbid a few slip through the cracks. So, this is what we're seeing. You have to qualify. Oh, we don't know why. They go on to say here at time, the guys go and say, we don't know why they'd want to resist us and not. Why we don't want to resist you? Number one, you're not offering shit. You're not offering a goddamn thing that actually helps. Okay, the only thing that you are offering is for us to be conduits, to be the name and the social security number for you to bill state and federal government. Okay? The homeless don't actually resist actual help. Okay, that's something that people don't seem to get through their head. So that's basically, you can finish, like I say, I want to make you privy, I want to make you aware to the code language that is used. This program, it has been tried so many times before, and it is doomed to fail. And yes, Mayor Bahala, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, you will be getting a phone call from me tomorrow. Your office anyway. I'm sure you'd never be man enough to actually speak to the homeless that you claim to want to help. Yeah, I bet. So I'm sure I'll be speaking to your representative or whatever. I'll be making Mayor Bahala privy to this YouTube channel and how I'm going to continue blowing the whistle and exposing people, how they exploit the homeless, whether it's YouTube users or government users. It's time to bring the exploitation of the homeless to an end. Total Control, 871.